So in this class, we are going to learn a new number system called whole numbers. Already we know about counting numbers. Then you may get a question that why need to discuss or why need to learn about whole numbers. The system of whole numbers, the system of natural numbers is not supportable in all our daily life situations. For example, if I ask you how many months are there in a year in which there are more than 35 days, then your answer is no such months exist in an year. But to represent that nothing, that natural number system will not have any particular number to represent that nothing. That's the reason they extended the system of counting numbers to the next level by adding 0 to it. So that is what we call as whole numbers. So in this session, we are going to learn about a new system of numbers called whole numbers, what are their properties and how we will do operations on whole numbers. So as we know, we use generally 1, 2, 3, 4 when we begin to count. And they come naturally when we start counting. Suppose if I want to count a particular number of things in your classroom or in a particular basket, if I have some number of fruits, if I want to count that number of fruits, generally we will start our counting from 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So hence mathematicians call that counting numbers as natural numbers. So the numbers which we use for counting are called natural numbers, and the mathematician labeled that counting numbers as natural numbers denoted by the letter N. And in this way, we will denote natural numbers on a number line. And then let us discuss what is predecessor, what is successor. So given any natural number, if you add 1 to that number, we will get immediately the next number, right? That next number is called its a successor. In the same manner, so for example, if you take a number 16, if I ask you what is the successor of 16, then what you have to do, you have to add 1 to that natural number. So here the number is 16. If I add 1 to that number, 16 plus 1 gives you 17, which we call it as successor of 16. In the same manner, if I change the number to 19, and the question is, what is the successor of 19? Then how will we get? By adding 1 to that number, we will get successor of it. So by doing that kind of add-ons, by 1, we will get that successors, right? So the number 16 becomes before 17. So in the other manner, we can say that 17 or 16 is the predecessor of 17. So with respect to what number you are talking, based on that, you can say about its successor and predecessor. And this figure gives you a clear-cut idea how to identify or how to remember a successor and a predecessor. The green color is nothing but the number what we are taking. Its previous number becomes predecessor, its after number becomes successor. For example, if I take 19, then its before number is 18, its after number is 20. In this way, we will get the numbers in this order. If I take 19 as my reference number, then 18 becomes its predecessor. How we are getting that predecessor? By subtracting 1 from that number, we are getting its before number, which we call it as its predecessor. And how I am getting its next number? By adding 1 to that number, I am getting its next number, which we call it as successor. So from this, you can easily remember that predecessor means subtracting 1. Successor means adding 1 to the number, right? Yes. So here they are given some examples. So here the reference number is 3. The number 3 has predecessor and a successor. Of course, it has a predecessor. If I take 3 as my reference number, by subtracting 1 from this, we will get its predecessor as 2. By adding 1 to that, we will get its successor as 4. Right? In the same manner, they are asking us, then what about 2? Yes, 2 also have a predecessor and a successor. So what is its predecessor? 2 minus 1. That is 1 is its predecessor. 2 plus 1, 3 is its successor. So in this way, we can make a count of, or we can write a number successor as well as its predecessor. So the successor of 2 is 3 and the predecessor of 2 is 1. But does 1 have both successor and predecessor in natural numbers? Let us have a look. So if I take 1 as my reference number, what is its successor? 1 plus 1, it's 2 and it exists in the natural numbers. But how I will get its predecessor? By subtracting 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0, but 0 is not there in the system of natural numbers. That's the reason 1 has only successor, but it does not have predecessor in the set of natural numbers because 0 is not included in the set of natural numbers. Even this is also one of the case where there is a need to extend the system of natural numbers to the next level by adding 0 to it. Try this. Write the predecessor and successor of these numbers. So, I am taking a table with 3 columns in which the first column I am taking and in the next column I am going to write its predecessor. Predecessor means before number, successor means after number. And in the next column I am writing its successor. What is the first number? 19. How I will get its predecessor? Yes, by subtracting 1. So, 19 minus 1 equals to 18. How I get its successor? Yes, by adding 1 to that number, we will get its successor. Very easy. Before number is called predecessor, after number is called successor. What is the second number given? 1997. Let us write its successor. How I will get? By subtracting 1. So, the number is 1996. Next, successor. How we will get successor? Yes, by adding 1 to that number, we will get its successor as 1998. Third number. What is third number? 12,000. Write its predecessor. 12,000 minus 1 is nothing but 11,999 is its predecessor. What is its successor? 12,000 plus 1, that is nothing but 12,001 is its successor. See the next number, 49. Write its predecessor as 48. Write its successor as 50. See the next number, 1 lakh. So, what is its predecessor? 1 lakh minus 1, that is 99,999. Next, its successor, that is 1 lakh plus 1, that is 1 lakh 1. So, in this way, we can write a number predecessor by subtracting 1 from it, and we can write successor by adding 1 to that number. Next, is there any natural number that has no predecessor? Just now we discussed, yes, there is a natural number which has no predecessor, that is 1. 1 has no predecessor in set of natural numbers. Next, is there any natural number which has no successor? Is there a last natural number? Yes. Why? Because we don't know where the natural number system ends. So, which we can't be determined. So, automatically that last number can't be determined in natural numbers. So, without knowing the last number, it is not possible to find a natural number, the last natural number and its successor. As the system goes on continuously, so the end which we can't determine, for such reasons we can say that there are some natural numbers and its end we cannot. Suppose if I ask you what is the smallest natural number, we will say answer as 1. If I ask you what is the largest natural number, as we don't know where it ends, then we have to say the answer as can't be determined. Next, we can count the number of children in our school. Of course, we will do. And we can also count the number of people in a city. Yes. We can count the number of people in India. Yes. The number of people in the whole world can also be counted. But it will take some time. But with the help of the census, we can just count how many people are living in India. We may not able be to count the number of stars in the sky or the number of hair on our heads, right? But if we are able, and there would be a number for them also. If I ask you, start counting the number of stars, it is possible, but we can't say a particular number, exactly these many stars are there in the sky, these many, that count of number of hairs are there on our heads. Like that, we can't say a particular count for such situations. So even we can then add one more to such a number and get a larger number, right? In that case, we can even write the number of hair on two heads taken together, right? So it is now perhaps obvious that there is no largest number in the set of counting numbers or in the set of natural numbers. Apart from these questions shared above, there are many others that can come to our mind when we work with natural numbers. You can think of few such questions and discuss it with your teacher as well as with your friends. You may not clearly know the answers to many of them. Like whatever questions I shared in the previous slide, like that, if you think of few more situations will comes into your mind where we cannot come out with a particular number as the answer.